Hello, listener. Welcome back to Hope and Optimism podcast. I'm Kwan Siegel, founder of ICWay, and today we are doing something a little different. We will not have any guests joining us in this podcast, but don't go anywhere because we are bringing you a special recap between me and Bessie. Whether you have been with us since the beginning or just tuning in, we hope this episode helps tie together some of the themes we have explored and maybe even offer some fresh perspectives. So let's dive in. Bessie, thank you so much for being here. I know you have such a busy schedule. I would like to have some reflection with you. Why
Yes.
don't we kickstart by our first episode, Hope and Optimism with Dr. Dylan Rust, International Student Retention and Creating a Sense of Belonging. So, what stood out to you the most with Dylan's approach?
I think that his attention to a number of steps from the location, the place that they have, where the students can come together, and the intentionality he had in making local connections with the international students and placemaking really resonated with me, that he made them feel like they had a real home and a real place.
Completely agree with you on that. I think Dylan's approach is so practical and timely. Like he's creating some informal spaces for connection and for students to be able to have meals together and share feedback, share a question, right? Because sometimes cultural differences really scare people from just raise hands and ask questions. So
Yes.
anyone can implement that.
Yes.
And if you want to hear more about Dylan's approach, please tune into episode 1. Now let's move on to episode 2 with Fiona McEntee, the skilled immigration attorney on protecting international students in a shifting America. So what's your insight about Fiona's episode, Bessie?
I think that her journey coming from Ireland and being an immigrant herself and having been through the international student process showed in her passion for helping the immigration process that is so complicated. She had great ideas about how do you work with the system? How do you make sure that you're getting the best advice? And what do you need to do to really make sure that you have an advocate for yourself? And that's where immigration lawyers can come in. And the situation is so complicated right now.
It is so complicated, isn't it? When we were interviewing Fiona, I feel like where is the space for hope and optimism when it comes to immigration? And that time we all heard about visa terminations, F1 visa terminations, even though a few weeks after that, they returned those revoked visa to the students, but it's still a scary process and damage has already been done. I also like, how Fiona spoke about the importance of proactive approach, proactive
Yeah.
support, and allyship among all advisors at the universities. And also because she's the strong advocate and she's also an activist too. So is this also important for us to not to be burned out by this current situation and for us to take
Yeah.
care of ourselves
And I
during this
think that,
time?
after her talk, we saw that some of the visas were returned, but I don't think this is the end. I think that the administration is going to find new ways to try to terminate more international students again. And so being proactive is going to be so important, and working with the university leaders and understanding the CETA system and understanding where things are legally and where you have supporters and where can you challenge the lawyers that are going to help you challenge things that do not make sense. Also, I think her advice about how to make sure that an international student is staying as clear of the law as you can. Be really careful and just don't take any risks that are going to make you someone that could be in the group that gets a bad decision.
Right. It's not the time to take risk at all.
Correct.
This is so great. Please tune into episode 2 for you to get those insights and tips to protect our international students in a shifting America. Now let's move on to episode number 3, Hope and Optimism with Dr. Ling Gao LeBeau from Syracuse, Transforming Success Through 5 Pillars, International Student Support. What's your thought on her 5 pillars, Bessie?
her process was so complete. The way she had mentors, the way she had activities together, the way she had academic people involved, the way she had students involved, the wraparound support that she alone with a very tiny team is doing. I think she proves that you don't need lots of resources, but you need several passionate people. And I think the fact that her work and their process has been given award and recognition shows that it is a model that can be replicated with passion and dedication.
That's absolutely right because she's also the one person team. So this shows that once you have such a structured, designed system, you can enhance student success. And what resonates with me the most is also her part of the advisor training because I remember she said this, we cannot just tell our students to do this and do that. We have to build some understanding among advisors to have a clear picture on what international students are struggling. That resonates with me because now I'm also building a training that support international students in terms of coaching advisors to help them be able to empower students to build networking skills, which is so important. And networking skills need to start as early as possible. Technical skills, you may be able to build that technical skills within, let's say, 1 week or 2 weeks, but soft skills, networking skills is a lifetime process. So the earlier start, the better. So if you would like to join into that international student success model from Ling Gao LeBeau, please tune into episode number 3. Now, the last episode with Dr. LaNitra Berger, Advancing Inclusion and Belonging in International Education. Which part of her message that stuck with you the most, Bessie?
I think her sense that you can have difficult feelings about the country and you can have kind of a love-hate relationship, but at the same time, you need to want a good outcome and you need to then build those bridges to make good outcomes happen. You can't just be discouraged by the things that put you off.
Absolutely. You cannot be discouraged by the things that put you off. That's such a great reflection. I love the long term vision of justice that she has shared with us and believe that the progress is there, even though it feels slow, but it's there. Yes.
Sometimes about 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And sometimes when you take that step back, you think, oh, I'm going backwards. But then you have to remember that you then need to push to get 2 steps forward again. And I think she talked about that with the intersectionality of international students, African American students, many different kinds of people who have to face barriers and then still move forward and keep that long-term view of the arc of justice moving forward.
Yes, I believe her episode is like the best final wrap up of the all the 4 episodes all together with some hope and optimism. Now,
Yes.
Bessie, we have reviewed all the 4 episodes and how we can bring that to practice. I would love to listen to you too. Like, what is the concept of hope and optimism podcast to you during these uncertain times?
For me, it means that you have to have a view of your own future that it will get you to the long term goals that you want. And that when you have these bumps in the road, they're not the end of the road, but they're bumps. And you have to keep focus on your vision for your long term future, for your long term career, for your long term family, and recognize that these bumps are going to be difficult and painful, but as long as you keep looking at that long term future, you will get there.
Wonderfully put. Yes, keep your eyes on that long term future, and every day matters. Like for me, when it comes to hope and optimism, actually, I have a real story to share. Like early this year, we got a chance to escape winter from Chicago. We went to Costa Rica, and I had a chance to talk to the resort owner that we stayed over that time, and he shared with us about the situation in 2024 in Costa Rica that they got very powerful storm that hit the hillside near his property and it wiped out all the plants and flowers, all of it gone. And the land looked completely bare and lifeless and totally empty. But then a few months later, something incredible happened. He said that the plants began to grow back, slowly at first, but then all at once. And the hillside became lush and green and even more vibrant than before. He said he never seen anything like that before after that big storm. So his story really stuck with me. And I feel like the fact that what we are all facing right now is like a big storm. But remember, we have these roots. We still have roots. And the soil actually becomes richer when fallen leaves and rainwater bring nutrients deep into the ground and help us bring new growth that can happen like faster and stronger in the future. So I really want to bring hope and optimism to all of us that maybe this hardship that we are going through, we may see much beautiful future coming after this.
I think that it relates to the fact that the United States of America needs the best and the brightest talent here on the challenges, making our communities better and being part of our growth intellectually and culturally. And that long term need for talent and people to be a part of this country doesn't change regardless of if we have short term administration changes. That is the long term future for America, which is why the international talent will continue to be so important as we look at how do we have that regrowth, as you say, that even though we might have a barren moment here, we will have regrowth that will be better than ever.
Yes. And we have some lessons that we got to learn through this process. So every day we become smarter and more resilient. Now we are in the end of our recap. We would love to share with our audience. First of all, thank you. Thank you for all university partners that have shared our podcast with your international students. That means so much to us. So far, we have heard that U Albany and University of Nebraska Lincoln have already shared our resources to their international students. So we are grateful. And we also would love to hear your thoughts, both international students and advisors, about this initiative that we have created. We want to use the whole summer to hear your feedback and to plan ahead because if you feel like this is really helping you right now, we want to continue this effort, maybe in the fall semester. So please spend your summer to listen to all these 4 episodes and share your thoughts with us. So that's the plan. Now, what about you, your own personal plan, Bessie? What are some of the exciting news that you have or highlights for this summer?
Some travel, work, side, and enjoy the summertime that is such a beautiful time in St. Louis. So that is great. And I'm also going to have time with some of my mentees that have some gatherings. A couple of them are having awards that they're being recognized for. I'm taking one of my mentees to lunch next week to learn about her activities that are coming up. And so I think having a chance to have some downtime and give extra encouragement to the young people that I like to support.
That sounds like a very meaningful summertime. I hope that one day we will be able to meet in person.
We will.
I look forward to that. And I know that Dania is not here with us today because she's got some academic requirement at the same time, but I would like to thank her for her leadership in terms of the mindfulness exercise throughout all the episodes. Bessie, what would you like to say to Dania?
I think Danya balanced out the intensity of what has to happen with that break, that you have to give your mind and your body a sense of peace so that you can then face the challenges. And I felt myself even very relaxed listening to those exercises and doing them because it made me realize that we need to rejuvenate ourselves so that we can gear ourselves up for the challenges ahead. I just loved it.
Yes, I'm so relaxed every time that I listen to her guided meditation. So helpful and very easy. The nostril breathing and
And the
the
fingers, and
fingers.
yeah,
She put together all the physical, simple physical mindfulness with the breathing. So good and practical. So all of you who are listening to us right now, Tune into the end of each episode. You will get that 5 minutes mindfulness exercise to help you become present and feel more relaxed. And for me, this summer, first of all, end of May, I'll be at NAFSA conference in San Diego. So I'm looking forward to reconnecting with all the international educators throughout the country and actually internationally. Want to hear your thoughts on this podcast as well and what we can do more to support your work. Thank you so much, Betsy, for joining me throughout this journey. It's such a highlight of my spring of
So thank you, Kwan.
2025.
It's been a pleasure to work together on this.